Welcome to another edition of Totally Awesome Fishing, where we're going to try and teach you about the denizen of the deep, the dark devourer of all things fishy down on the seabed. I refer, of course, to the conger eel. It grows to a huge length, it's a really tough fish to catch, it's strong, it will and can bite you. In fact, it can nip your finger off if it wants to. A great sporting fish. I've always loved catching conger eels. But first we need to go into the Totally Awesome workshop, just learn a little bit about the booms that you can use to make your traces up for, for using them. You want them strong, you got to have tough tackle, and a little bit about how to rig up with the best bait. And then we come to the best bit really, we're going to go fishing. Enjoy and watch. I'm going to get on with the next film. Okay, I've cut myself up several lengths of the coat hanger wire. Now, all you do to make yourself easy to use running Legiswell Clements booms. Long nose pliers, get the end of it. Just in here's the strongest part of the pliers. So just start the roll just there. Put a little kink in it like that. Hold it and just roll it and keep working away on that ring, making a little circle, tiny circle, just a circle, about, I don't know, 2 turns. There you go. I'm going to bring it back up to there. Now don't open it. I want this now to fold over the top of there. So I'm going to turn it round, grip it right where I want it to bend, right there, and just bend that wire at 90 degrees. So that gives me my end loop. Now you can make these booms, a standard boom would be about 3 inches. You can make it longer because when you drop down it doesn't get tangled. So if you want to drop down fast, make the boom longer here. So you can see how we do it. Get the long nose pliers, just start that roll, slowly working round. It does get a bit trying on the wrists at some stage. I've got that diameter hole there. Now I grip both of them now, both rings. You can just squeeze them together to level up wire up. You can go once or you can go twice, it really doesn't matter as long as you've got that one loop. And now, I don't want to open that loop up this way. I want to close this loop, this bar, over the top of that one. So I'm going to use the bigger pliers here. Just grip it like that. And then I'm going to bend it at 90 degrees right over. Like that. Just straighten it up a bit. Now you can see the start of the shape. That's your end piece. That's the butt piece that goes up here to your fishing line, and come down maybe 3 inches, just about, say there. Get your cutters. Again, just rotate it a little bit as you're cutting and you'll find it pops straight off. Now what I do, because I do a lot of rough ground fishing, I just bend a loop in this, measure about ½ inch. You don't want this longer than that up there. You want it about there. I want this tag end just to come short of the loop there. So I'm just going to bend that round slowly. I've probably made hundreds of these over the years, so I know I'm not going to do it. Look at that, perfect. I mean, that's precision. I should be getting paid for making these. Now you can pinch that in there, and now you can either tie a piece of rough nylon to your lead here, or I'll show you. Just slide the lead over and close it with a pair of pinchers. There we go. There's the lead now. 7-ounce lead, got the ring on it, slide it straight on like that. Obviously you think, oh, I'll drop it down and it'll fall off. Fine. Get your pliers, just squeeze it closed. Overlap it even, just like that, just overlap it. And it can hang. But you can also incorporate your own snap swivel in there if you want. And let me show you this one. So that's one that I'm quite prepared to do. What I do to change those leads is I just bend it open and slide the lead off. Look, it's not rocket science. I've always got a pair of hip pliers with me. Just take the tag end off. You want to change leads, bang, it's done. It's as simple as that. Or the old, here's one we prepared earlier. You can, I should take the lid off so you can see, you can incorporate your own swivel in there, in the bottom. Now to do that, you need to twist this little snap link on there, and for that you might not be able to do it with pliers. I'll just show you how you do it in the vise. Okay, for putting this link onto the end, I've made the same boom. You can see I've made it exactly the same way. I drop on the link, take a pair of pliers and I want to bend it over. So it's bent like that. Now I can close that up. I can close that, but it might just slide off. You know, it might just come off the end. So you want to put a twist in it. So I just squeeze it like this until I get that overlap in it. You just see the overlap there? Now that is very hard to spin up. So what I do is I just tuck the swivel to a side, just nip the end of it in the vise. Watch your fingers. You can see the angle it's at there. Bend it over a little bit, get your pliers, and you can wrap it right around the centre shaft of that wire. Obviously it gets harder, but what you do is you close it down like this and you just use the inside gap on the pliers. It's a little bit bigger in there, you can see, and if you just keep rolling that around like that, it crushes it in. Right, take that out and have a look at it. There you go, and that, as you can see, is perfectly on there. Pop it open, pop your lead on, and as the saying goes, the job's a good one, it's done. Right, the traditional way of getting some baits off a mackerel, just take one fillet off like this, turn it over. Of course you can use them whole if you've got really big eels you're after, but this is what I call the economy bait. It's actually called a butterfly bait. You take the backbone out, everybody throws that away, but this piece here is a good bait for conger. But what people neglect is the inside of that head. Now, if you split this down, with great care I hasten to add, turn it round, you can perhaps see it better, just to the joint of the jaws, you'll find you can bend it inside out, and all you do, because it's bone and skull, you just drop that hook straight through both eye sockets, and that is the butterfly bait. You've got all the blood and guts and yucky stuff there, and that's exactly what will get you a big conger eel. I fish for conger using my own 17-foot Wilson Flyer high sea drifter, which I tow on a trailer thousands of miles just to reach the best fishing spots. And down at Mile End Marina, the slip is so forgiving I can actually launch it on my own. It gives me the freedom to fish any spot I want. Now when you go conger fishing, there's one thing they do like, and that's smell, because they are right up high on the apex predator chain. So what we've done here, I've all your old bait, anything left over that's a little bit manky, a little bit doubtful and dubious, and you can afford to use as chum or ground bait on the bottom, cube it all up, cut it all up. Now, if you're in shallow water, let's say 15, 20 feet deep, you can throw this over, spray it all around the boat, and it will sink to the bottom and it will get to the bottom. In deep water, you've got to be a bit more accurate. And for that, you need the newly patented, and at the moment unpriced, piece of toilet waste pipe. Unused if possible. Now, that's a 4-inch one, and I've made this into a ground bait tube. You can see it's got the bung on the top to put the ground bait inside. So I've filled it up there. I've got the proverbial coat hanger wire, which we use for everything except hanging coats on, and I've made an L shape to it and a little trap door here with a lead weight. So what I do is I fill it all up, put the little lever over the top of it like that. The weight's pulling it down, sinks it to the bottom. As it sinks to the bottom, it goes right down, comes loose, and it all comes out from the end, and it keeps it in a pretty confined area. The best time to do this, if you can, is around slack water, and then you've got a nice big smelly area and you can get your baits in it, and that will draw the conger out. I'll show you once again. You fill it up. You can use this really on a big heavy rod with say 40-50 pound line on it, or you could use a piece of crab line, you know, like Corleen, orange Corleen, for dropping it down with your weight. Obviously if you're in deeper water, you know, you're going to use a bigger lead weight than I've got here. So I shut it up, I put it in the bottom. I didn't really need it. I've seen immediately a fault with this patented design. I don't now need this, do I? I don't need the bung at the top, but it's there. So there we are, it's loaded like that. I'm going to lower it down. As I lower it down, bang, it's the bottom, trapdoor comes out, and all this lot mills around on the bottom. Totally awesome tip for conger fishing, but we've got to catch a conger to show you it works. and the spot I anchored over was some snaggy, rocky ground called the Manacles Reef. It's a notorious area for old-time shipwrecks and popular with divers as well. But I was there with Wayne Comben, and using our fresh mackerel baits, we soon got among the area's big eels. Getting a conger out of the rocks is just one part of the battle. Once on the surface, they can still twist and thrash around, often snapping the unsuspecting angler's line at the last moment. Don't ever take them for granted. Have some respect for the power of those jaws and wear a pair of leather gloves for bringing them aboard. They have unbelievable power. Reef conger will generally average double figures, so they are not a small fish to catch. However, they have been known to reach the astronomical weight of 150 pounds. And no, I'm not bringing a conger that size into my 17-foot dinghy. More and more anglers return their conger alive today, as they are not the world's greatest eating fish. And once returned, they go straight back to the seabed and probably live in exactly the same area that you caught them in. Conservation is definitely the way to go with conger.
You know what they're like. Give a good initial dive. Won't be a huge fish, but
So what do you think, pollock or something, Wayne?
yeah, there he is. Look. Nice, you know, nice to catch him on artificials. That's all. There we go.
This is what you can do in amongst conger fishing. You know, if you got a light tackle rod, away you go.
Yeah,
what's that taking, Shad?
Yeah, well, basically all it is there. I've got myself a little springy boom there, which is a couple of beads just to protect it. Small 3-ounce weight, and I don't know what's that, 5 foot of 20-pound mono, and there's just a little sort of shad there, little jelly.
Nice pearly effect on that one, though, Wayne. I like the colours, I like the sparkle in it.
Yeah, well, that's care of Dave Barham. That one. It was a little freebie off of Dave. So
it's a Boat Fishing Monthly one.
It was, yes. I can thank him for that. Unfortunately,
it's got the tails come off.
Exactly. That's the only problem with them. There we go. It's pollock about, I don't know, 3.
Yeah, go with the other one.
Yeah, sea lice on him. In fact, he's got quite a few sea lice on him. Nice and fresh.
And in here is the enemy. This is the enemy.
The sea states slight or moderate, occasionally rough later in the west.
No.
The weather, occasional rain or showers, and visibility moderate or good.
Never believe a woman. Away with you, woman. Thank you. And don't come back. Well, I got a decent fish this time. And absolutely thought it was in a snag. But there he goes, banging. Absolute classic conger head shaking there. Doesn't feel a halfway bad fish, this one. And Wayne just had that pollock just now. So, we've got chum bags over. I won't tell you how many conger rods I put out, but it's far too many. We've even put a rod out for a mako shark, possibly, out the back. So we've got the chum. And guys over there are fishing for bass over a rock. So we're this side of the rock, and all our smell trail from the baits is going into Conger Rock. I'm going to call it Conger Rock. You won't be laughing if this comes off, because I did generally pull for a break and it pulled back. Bound to get me out of the lines, but I tell you what, it doesn't feel bad, old fish. Come on. Definitely got one of my other lines. It's twanging like crazy. Oh, he's got several lines all right. Oh no, it broke him off. He's wrapped around something that broke him off. Am I bothered? Yeah, I am. Well, here at Totally Awesome, we are taking no nonsense from fish snapping our lines. That doesn't normally happen. He says, hopefully, through gritted teeth. I'll put my lightest 12-pound cast rod down with some braid and a little small reel, and Conger City again. Number 6. We've had some more pollock, and this doesn't feel a halfway bad fish either. The tide's flowing, it's perfect. It's pulling then. It's taking our bait straight across to that reef, the smell, and I'm sure that's what's helping us. Ah, don't fall off. Don't fall off. Oh, dear me. Oh, dear me, sir. That's what you call a conger. A big black one. When they live over sand, then they're lighter colour. But that is as black as your hat, is the saying. And that on a light tackle rod was a bit of sport. And I definitely don't want to get whacked around the head with the lead here. So always be careful of that lead swinging around. And that's what they do, whip their heads like this. You can see the half mackerel there. Oh dear me. Let's move this rubby sack out of the way, chunk sack. This is a really strong conger.
I can reach this with gloves.
He's spinning. I don't think you're going to take a chance. Like, guys, you're just going to have to believe him. If he comes off, he comes off. Because they will chafe through the leaders, even 100-pound mono here. If I try and take the weight of the fish. This is a big one to lift. I'll try him. If we get totally awesomely lucky. Yeah. Look at the belly on this one. I'll get down behind it so you can see. And Hoity Drifter normally has 14 rods out at once. I can just ease him off there. Oh, yeah. In here, I think is their biting muscle. They get those two bulbous bits is where they clamp down hard on their jaws, and they have unbelievable biting power in there. And it's just on the top here. If you've seen big dogs, sort of pit bull dogs, I think these two big muscles there.
They're called masseter muscles.
Is that what they're called, Wayne?
Yeah.
Wayne would know, and I reckon that's where they get that power from. And the hook is just there. And one thing I would say, girls, don't go getting that out with your fingers. You can use a pair of pliers or a bar, because that will spin around and get you as easy as you like. Oh, that one is another 25 pluser, I would guess. And there's the phone from somebody else inside who wants to know if we're catching any fish. Shall I answer or shall I not? We'll keep them waiting. That's a totally awesome bit of conger fishing. 6 in a row and we're still going. This, by the way, is a release gaff. It's barbless. There we go. So all I do with this is just release the chin. It's just slide it off. Fish is gone. And away it goes. Straight down. Beautiful.
What a tail splash. Back down to terrorise a few more pout.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm on yet another conger on the light rod. We've bust another 2 off. We're getting snagged up big time. And these conger are just so black. They are right in amongst the caves, the craggy overhangs, anything that's down there. We're starting to lose a lot of gear, but we are getting the congers, that's one thing. This is a smaller fish, but I think it's getting near time to call it a day. You guys must have seen the size and the number of eels. We're not fishing a wreck, we're just fishing over the reef, the Manacles Reef. Superb conger fishing. Time to call it a totally awesome day. And yet, another beauty. So you know, conger fishing with those rigs over the Manacles Reef out of Falmouth Bay works. Now I'm stuffed. Now look, this is what they do downstairs. If you look at where that eel's gone, that is exactly what they do in their caves. They get their body wrapped around an overhang like that, jam up, and it doesn't matter how hard you pull, you will never get them up. They can reverse into the snag. Unfortunately, I thought I'd get him out. I can't. He's won yet again. But that fish is, I'll tell you what, if it's not fast off 15 pounds, just hold him up for you. Get yourself a pair of these gloves. Gardening gloves will do. These are like welding gloves that come up here, but you can take a wrap on something, you can get hold of them, you can get the hook out, you can hopefully, he says, hold the fish. There we go.
It's a wee bit rocky rolly at the moment.
That is it. Let's get this old puppy back. He must be a good 12, 15 at least. We've had 3, it might be between 25 and 30, some good fish. We've bust off bigger ones. As we say, it's totally awesome. Are we going home yet? No, but we should be. What a fish. Beautiful.
Not a big one, it's a very, very small one, but they're good fun. They put up a good scrap.
Number 8.
Yeah, I mean that one took virtually well, I cut the tail off of a whole mackerel, and that gives you an idea of what they'll do, what they'll take bait-wise. Very greedy little fish. Probably one of the smallest ones of the day. But and there's what Graham was saying earlier. Look at the way he's trying to wrap himself around things.
That's what they do down the bottom, don't
Absolutely, round structure. Okay, well this is number 9, conger number 9, and another very, very dark conger, very black. You can't see him because he's belly on, but now I'm going to T-bar him off. I'm not going to muck about. He's only a small fish. We brought the bigger ones in just to sort of give you a look at them. But there you go, T-barring is very simple. Get that round the bend of the hook, mono down, that round the bend, and then a little shake, or 2 or 3, but
big barb.
and there we go. He's off. And tail slap again. Away he goes.
Oh. Oh. Well, as we say at Totally Awesome, are we going home? The answer's no. And I've got a brute conger, Last fish of the day, number 12. And that don't look far off of 25, 30 pounds. And he's coughing up loads of stuff there. Now he's probably a 25, I guess. But what a session conger fishing. 12 congers, and that's in half a day. That's amazing, in half a day. Just spat that whole bait out. Very precarious position with the rod butt. With that. Oh, damage report there, thank you. Oh, they are some good scrappers, even on this comparatively heavy gear. And this is a nice conger eel. This is a nice one. Now, I'm going to use my little release gaff. I'll take fish about 25 pounds. All this is actually is a fish hook, and you just pop it in there. It's just a fish hook on a wooden pole, but I also use it for sharks, just for lifting real big fish into the boat. I just don't want the... Actually, I'll tell you what's dangerous, guys. Just look about. If you can see a foot above that head and jaws, he's absolutely frayed the line there. Absolutely frayed the line, and that's another reason I'm going to use this chin gaff. If I make any attempt to try and lift that aboard, he's going to snap that. He might even snap it now when I get hold of it. That's the classic conger spin. And you can see just here, absolutely shredded 100 pound mono. Right, let's see if I can get it for you. Every time. It wasn't organised then. If I had a really big fish, it rips this out my hand. I've got a steel cable there, and it goes right through to a piece of rope. But at least I get this big boy, maybe over the side for you. And I still think this one is full of all the ground bait we've been putting in. That fish, 25, maybe 28 pounds. I don't think he's honestly going to go 30. Some of those others we had might be a bit bigger. What a fish to finish on. Totally awesome conger fishing. Get those rigs made up. Get yourself out here in a dinghy. Do your own stuff. Tell you what, 12 conger in a day, you'd be hard pushed to beat that on a big boat. As we say, let's get it back.
Oh, it's totally awesome fishing. You are. Can I be in this? I always watch totally awesome fishing. I actually do.
Give us a second, I'll get you in.
Pardon?
Give us a second.
catch some of these little ones, I'll be on Totally Awesome Fishing. You know?
There you go, you like the channel, didn't you?
Yeah?
Nice touch.